Dear one, welcome to this another Jnana Insight of answering and discussing the question, what am I? Cognize and recognizing is not knowing. Verification is also different. I would like to share a story of mine here. When I came across the difference between believing what others say is true versus what I verify myself to be true. I grew up in a Christian household that went to church every Sunday. As a child, my sister and I used to be rewarded afterwards if we behaved and basically sat still and pretended to listen. Now, from what I remember is it was a great time for me to sleep until I was too old to sleep in church. I remember endless conversations of projected guilt with various people. I never understood the church thing. Yet I was forced to pretend to understand, else I was threatened and seen as a bad person. None of my genuine inquiry questions was ever answered with anything more than a because that's how it is, or because I said so, or random quotes from the Bible, which at that time didn't make sense and had no relevance to me at that point. Not once did I have a direct experience with God in that time. Yet, I was directed to accept that God, that concept of God, is alive and will punish me if I do not do as they say. This created a trick fear coat that kept me warm, but it was summer. And the older I got, the more questions, the more contemplations were roaming inside my inner landscape, too scared to be spoken. I had blind faith without any verification, and that's what it also says, to have faith. The question and the inconsistent information presented tipped the scale for me when I was 17. Please do not get me wrong. I have no problem with religion at all. Some people get to experience God through religion, but it didn't happen for me that way. After I left home at 18, I of course rebelled and tried to pretend the belief system running on autopilot from my subconscious mind was no longer there. I only prayed when I needed something from God. Then the spiral dynamics would start. First, I would bargain with God. Please make this happen, or take this pain away. And I swear to you, God, I swear to you, I will never do X, Y, Z. Ever again, ever again. Then I would feel guilty just for asking for something, and I would start thanking God for the things that I do have. I never felt like my prayers were ever answered, and when they were, it was so short-lived that it was barely recognized. This was all needed for me to be courageous enough to even try to do yoga. Yes, because in South Africa, it was seen as worshipping the devil. To some, I am sure it is still perceived that way. It is a big taboo, and if you want to go to heaven, Don't do it. I still clearly remember reading a book about the chakra systems and doing yoga with a huge inner conflict happening inside of me at that time. The die-hard belief of striking fear about going to hell, yet the curiosity being fueled by the fire of exploring deeper in the self-verification process. When I hit rock bottom at the age of 24, I had a burnout. I left a really intimate relationship I was in for 6 years. I quit my job as a medical representative. I moved back to my mom. I lost all my friends. I was terribly ill. I decided to travel to India to do my yoga teacher training. It was there that I got my first profound direct experience with God, or as I see it, with conscious existence, with myself. It was in one meditation that the blocked energy of so many years of beliefs melted away like snow on a warm summer's day. There are no words for this experience, and there was no intellectual understanding either. But there was such a deep, grounded knowing beyond perception and rational reasoning that embedded me in so much love and so much compassion that it couldn't have been anything other than God. Example, you recognize and see the sun rising. You see the sun rising in the east and you see it setting in the west. Every day, every single day. But is that correct knowledge? No, because the sun doesn't rise anywhere. The sun doesn't move as you see it moving. The sun is not moving around Earth. It is a phenomena. It is not true knowledge. The same, we can say the sky is blue. No, the sky appears to be blue. The moon wanes and waxes. No, it only appears to do so. So this is the difference between information and knowledge. It is delivered through the senses. Is it really happening? No. Your experiences of all these phenomena is information, not knowledge. So it's time for us to awaken this discernment between information and knowledge. Knowledge is when you realize that the reality and not the phenomena is real. Your experiences through the senses are not to be fully trusted and identified with and agreed to believe in. We recognize the phenomena to be I. We misunderstand the phenomena. So is the body and the mind also not just phenomena? Real knowledge has the ability to remove suffering completely. Real knowledge can remove a superimposing of a non-self onto the real self. Why is this realization so seemingly difficult? Because we have given ourselves so many layers of identification with the false. So many layers of information which we have agreed to believe over again. It seems real, so we agreed that it is. We prioritize information above true knowledge. And when we realize we are not these layers of information, because all of these layers of information are temporarily in nature, Therefore, you are able to see that which is self-evident. It doesn't require anything else to prove its existence. Example, the sun reveals itself, it's self-revealing. You do not need a torchlight to find the sun. So when you realize the true I, the true self, everything else is realized as an object of experience. How many I's do you refer to? Only one. But this I is misunderstood as I am body, I am mind, I am thought, I am feeling, I am emotion. So I'm going to read to you guys the Atma Shatakam directly. So neither can it be termed as prana, nor the 5 of the vital airs, apana, samana, prana, udana, and vayana, nor the 7 material essences of body, plasma, flesh, blood, fat, bone, marrow, genitals, fluids, nor the 5 sheaths, the anamaya, the pranamaya kasha, etc. Neither am I the 5 instruments of illumination, speech, hands, legs, genitals, secretion organs, procreation, motion, grasping, or speaking. I am the ever pure, blissful consciousness. As the Hindus would say when they realize they are pure awareness and not form, they would say, I am Shiva, I am Shiva. That was a direct quote and piece verse out of the book. So when I say I am hungry, I am referring to my stomach being empty. I am sad. I am referring to my heart experiencing an emotion. You are superimposing false information onto the real I. Body, because I can feel my body, it is real. I am this body. This is a phenomena. This is but a body. I am not completely and only this body. The knowledge should shine through the information. Like the sun is shining, rising and falling, shining through the clouds. The sun rising and falling is information. If you are believing the information appearing to be real, you should also believe that you are the food that you eat. Not only are you then the body, but the food that becomes the body. This is seen in the health industry. You are what you eat. You become what you eat. The recognition of the cause of the body should also be there and realized, should it not? Yoga is there to realize the veils covering consciousness and what you are and what you are not, this discernment. It is not to polish the veils of ignorance. The practices are there to be able to have the ability to discriminate between the permanent and what is impermanent. What is real versus what appears to be real. What is the substance and what are the attributes of the substance? Mind, the constant wave of thoughts, but thoughts don't have the ability to make you constantly happy. Yet we look for happiness in the thoughts and try to recreate them. The mistake we make in yoga is we keep polishing that which we are not. That which we control and keep in alignment will also go out of alignment. It is not a constant state. The real benefit of asana practice is to bring quietness into the mind, not per se to open up the hips. Chaturanga seems to bring strength into the arms and into the core, when it actually brings stability through the mind. No one has died because of short hamstrings or a tight spine. We carry out postures or asanas to strengthen the mind. All the suffering comes from there. With a relaxed and stable mind, it is able to reflect higher truths. With that stable mind, you realize and recognize what you are in reality. The veils and yoga give a seemingly pathway. The body is recognized, which gives rise to the recognition of the breath. The breath gives rise to recognize the intellect. The intellect gives rise to reflect something higher. And through that recognition, the true self reveals itself. Then you are free of the misunderstanding. Nothing special will happen. Else, it is just another identity role, another mysterious happening. The Ananda veil is the source from where all knowledge comes from. It's like the avo seed. Can you see the leaves, the roots, the bark, or fruit of the entire tree in that seed if you open it up? No. But all the potential and information is in that seed. The entire tree is latent in the seed. You are also not the Ananda veil, but that is the seed of everything. You are that which is holding and supporting all that information and all of those experiences.